What is the great stamp duty rip-off? I'll tell you what it is. While most of us are supposed to be rejoicing at the token gesture granted to us by the Chancellor last week, to the tune of up to £2,500 saving on stamp duty for home movers and up to £6,750 saving for first time buyers, provided of course they can afford to buy their first home at well over £400,000. And as we all know, this small gesture will easily be swallowed up by other expenses, and the overall cost is invariably being swollen up by increasing mortgage costs. But let's put that to the side. Many of you who are investors and landlords will be all too aware that on a second property, an investment property, you have to pay an additional 3% stamp duty, which was not very clever really, considering that there are hundreds of thousands of properties in this country that need improvement, renovation, maybe they're even derelict, and anybody who wishes to actually renovate these properties, and they are normally small investors, small developers, they have to factor in an additional 3% on their purchase costs, and that applies even if it falls below the threshold of which has now gone up to £250,000. But what many of you may not be aware of is that the additional 3% doesn't apply if you are buying 6 properties at the same time. How many people can do that? Not many, apart from the very, very wealthy and the corporations. So while individual investors, individual landlords who are able to incrementally renovate and improve the housing stock that is so much needed for renters and for first-time buyers, they are being penalised. The large corporations are able to freely buy 6 or more properties at a time and not pay the additional 3%. So work out 6 properties times £400,000 or £500,000. What's the 3% extra on that is being gifted to them? That is a lot of money. This is the greatest shift of wealth upwards in history. Individual hard-working people are being punished while money is being handed to the super rich. And that, not only is it unfair, but it's not helping the actual housing crisis. As I said previously, the way that it has been working over the last few years has not worked for anybody. To encourage individuals to throw everything at buying investment properties and then to punish them, that is wrong. But there has been no encouragement, no incentive to direct those investors to actually bring on board the hundreds of thousands of properties that are unfit for purpose or even derelict throughout the country, to give them capital gains tax incentives to renovate and then resell those properties to make more properties available to first-time buyers. And yet we are now witnessing the actual purchasing of so much housing stock by large corporations. I would say banks are the root of all evil. I'm not sure if I can say that online, but it's too late now. Once again, not sure if you're aware, but Lloyds Bank is on target to become the largest landlord in the country by 2025. Lloyds Bank. You may go into Lloyds Bank and say, can I borrow some money to buy an additional property? And they'll go, that's a bit of a risk. I don't think we can do that. But they'll lend you money to go on holiday and buy a car and buy some new gadgets, because that's bad debt. They want you to have bad debt because that keeps you enslaved to the bank to be paying them interest on money they've invented out of thin air. They don't want you to have good debt. Good debt, covered debt. That is debt on an appreciating asset, meaning that your debt, albeit that the interest on that date may rise and fall, but the debt itself is fixed while the asset is increasing. So it's a covered debt yielding a profit and hopefully a return. They don't want you to have that. They want you to have bad debt. They want you to encourage buy now, pay later, buy this new gadget, buy this new car, go on holiday. They'll lend you money for that, but they won't lend you money to buy property because they want to buy it all. And the more property that they buy, the greater the stranglehold they will have, not just on the property market, but also on a fundamental right and a fundamental need for the whole nation. So I'm sorry, I've said it before, but I have to say it again. Last week's token gesture wasn't even a gesture, it's an insult. And I really, really do feel that this will not do anything to help renters, first-time buyers, or landlords. And here goes my phone, I'll have to go. I will see you in the next video.